Okay, so we're gonna try some different stuff today. I plan on having people over for sushi tomorrow night, but until then, what we're gonna start with is we're gonna do some stir fry this evening. We got carrots, we got a white onion, and we have Argentine shrimp. So we're gonna start with all that. The rest of everything else that I have is inconsequential for the evening, but right now we've got our stuff right here. I'm also going to pull out this zucchini, which I'm going to put down here. And then I also have this green bell pepper, which I think is going to make a pretty good pairing with all of this. And then what we're going to do with all of it, typically we combine this with rice. Okay. The very last thing that we're going to do is we're going to put together some of these Hokkien stir-fry noodles. Okay. We're going to include those in the group. So that's your whole shot of exactly what's going in there. I've got two cameras going on right now. I've got one down below that's going to show what my hands are doing. It's going to show the knife work, and then I've got a camera that I'm going to talk to up here. So let's get things going. The way that I do stir fry is that I break things up based upon how they're going to cook. Okay, so when we're doing things, I've got a couple different bowls. I'm going to put these bowls down here. And they're gonna pick up these ingredients as we go through. So we start with a super sharp knife. This one I can feel is a little bit dull right now. Okay, so away we go. The number one thing that I'm interested in is just getting my stuff cut so that I can get it into bowls. It's only gonna be me and my wife eating this evening, so I'm not going to be looking for a ton of vegetables. Okay, and I'm going to just get those into a bowl here. Just about enough of those. I'm going to clean this up. A little dry on the end there. We'll compost that. So whenever I'm cooking, I'm looking for a couple different things. I'm looking for texture, mouthfeel, and then I'm also looking for color. Okay, so this obviously is going to provide us with a little bit of both, a little bit of green, a little bit of yellow. I think I really like that. Okay, next thing that we're going to get in here, because I would say that the green pepper, which I'm actually going to slice right through the middle here, the green pepper and everything else that I just cut are going to cook at about the same speed. And that's the most important thing, I think, when you're doing a stir fry, is that you pair things in a linear fashion, that we know what's going to go on first, which are going to be the more woody products, and then later on we're going to put the less woody products on, the thing like onions, peppers, in this case zucchini, yellow squash. Those things are going to go on a little bit later. And they're actually, I'm going to just throw them all in the same bowl since they're going to be cooking at about the same time. And at about the same speed. I'm just going to work through the top half of this onion. I'm going to peel this super thin membrane off of that because I don't really want to cook that. I'm going to keep it because we are going to compost it, but I am going to take the top of this and I'm going to take a knife and just slice that off. Okay, and then basically the way that I'm going to cut this, just like that all the way through, and that is going to give me the sizes that I want. So, got another bowl here, let's throw it in there. Break that up a little bit. It's going to give me a little bit of different texture, a little bit of different mouthfeel for the way that this is all going to work out. Set that off to the side. Next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to pull one of these carrots out here. Love carrots. Okay. Just going to cut two of those off of there. I'm going to wash these over. I'm going to scrub these off. Taking these two and I've cut those out. I'm going to cut them into similar sizes. And what I'm actually going to do here with this one, I'm going to split it. There's a lot of different ways that you can prepare carrots. And I'm just going to cut them into matchsticks here. Really, really like thin slices all the way through. It's a super woody vegetable in comparison with the rest of them. These aren't technically matchsticks, but I mean, I'm just going to chop them up so that they're going to cook down a lot quicker than if I didn't cut them down this way. Notice that whenever I'm cutting with my knife, I'm not ever putting any of this out there so I can cut through it. I got everything down so that I can put that blade right up against this and not worry about anything cutting through my lovely little digits there. Now typically I would cook these, or I would pair these with, let's say, not cauliflower, what am I trying to say? A broccoli. Okay, something like that. I'm just going to take these ends, eat those. Delicious benefit of being able to cook in the kitchen. Got a great sweet flavor. One of the things that I love about cooking with carrots is that flavor changes over time. Very similar to when you're working with garlic. You know, you start with something that's got a really very powerful, distinct flavor. Gets sweeter over time. Same thing with carrots. This is probably way too much from a vegetable standpoint, but this is where we're at. This is what we're going to do. Next thing we're going to do is get ready to put some things in a pan here shortly. But before we do that, okay, we're going to see how this goes. Get a little bit of heat going. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pull out some toasted sesame. Throw a little of that oil in there. I'm going to make sure that this is good and hot. We're going to kind of order some things. First thing that we're going to do, carrots are going to be the first thing that goes in there. Next thing we're going to do, these are going to be a little bit softer. Those will go in next. The next thing that we're going to run is we're going to put in our onions, and then based upon what this says on here, stir fry oil and chicken, mushrooms, pepper, water, and Szechuan. Add noodles last and cook for 2 minutes. So my noodles are going to go in here for 2 minutes at the very, very last after everything else. Okay, so here we go. Not quite ready to go yet. Like I really want, especially when I'm cooking some of this, especially anytime you're cooking with a wok, you want like high heat, okay? You want to hit it with a high heat. Like that's super important that you get that in there and get things going right away. We're not trying to deep fat fry stuff. The oil is there just to give it a little bit of flavor. What I'm using right now is a toasted sesame oil, okay? Just adds flavor, you know. That's really it. So let's just dump all that in. And now whenever I'm working with a wok, the whole reason that I've got a wok is to be able to flip stuff over and over and over again. It shouldn't take too long as those vegetables are cooking down. They're going to be releasing a lot of their moisture. And so you don't need water down there. You don't need to steam it or anything like that. What we're trying to do is we're really trying to denature, cook down what's actually happening with those vegetables. The next thing that we're going to be doing is throwing on some of the softer vegetables that need a little bit less time to actually get worked on. I'm not adding any salt, not adding any pepper. I am going to pull out some soy sauce for later on. Really what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking and lightly saucing it with a gentle sauce at the very, 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 very end. It's just going to take just a splash of that stuff to really make a difference. And again, I'm putting a little oil in there so we get a little bit of flavor, moving things around. High heat again. You want high heat. Moving that along. The carrots are going to take the longest to cook. And you've got to remember that whatever else, so for example, like with the onions, when I'm cooking onions, I'm looking for the onions to go from this color and this texture, okay, to a translucent texture. And I don't want it to lose this nice crunch that it's got. That's a beautiful thing. If stir fry is done right, stuff still has crunch. The carrot should be a little bit sweeter, of course, but you still want some texture to be there. You don't want to cook all the texture out of it. For example, I'm cooking this beautiful green bell pepper. Okay, I don't want it to be all wilty and soggy. I want this to be a vehicle for my sauce, and I want to be able to carry some of that with it. This right here, you've got a summer squash. Beautiful crunch already. We want that to carry a little bit of that crunch. We also want to just give it a touch of heat. Bring out a little bit of flavor, and we can change the nature of that. But that's really what we're trying to do. Tonight, I didn't go with a ton of vegetables. You notice that I'm trying to think, Mongolian beef. If you go into a place and you get Mongolian beef, you're getting beef and onions. Okay? There's a lot of dishes that are traditionally use one vegetable. Whenever I do stir fry, I like to do a lot of different vegetables. And because these carrots are a little bit thin, they're going to cook a little bit quicker. I'm going to throw in my other vegetables. I'm going to flip to combine. Notice that also gets carrots out of some of that heat. Okay. Now remember, our shrimp are just going to take a few moments to cook. Oh, nice. Okay, you can see you've got a little bit of gloss, a little bit of color on there. That's given that. You can tell there's a little bit of oil on it. I love these pans to be able to flip, toss, combine. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. I honestly am probably going to use one package of noodles, and we're going to see. Remember, our shrimp is going to be the very last thing that we're going to add in here. See, we're getting a little bit of color on there. It's looking nice. Starting to get some steam out of there. More heat. So, for example, like if you see somebody who's actually working in a Asian kitchen, they've always got a big bowl, a big wok, and they're flip, and they're really working that. But I can see that there's still a little bit of texture here. Nothing's wilted down too much. That's great. Carrots have got a little bit of flex to them, which they didn't have before. Okay, so that's my next step. I'm going to throw in that beautiful color in there. Throw in my onions, and just as my onions get to the point where they're going to be starting to take on some of that translucent color, I'm going to add some of the noodles first. I'm going to add the shrimp first. I've been thinking about it. I think I'm going to add the shrimp first. Boy, look at that! You can already see onions that were on the bottom starting to pick up some of that translucent. Onions, everything else has picked up a little bit of that oil. Got a little bit of char. It's called the Maillard effect. And really all it does is as you get a little bit of char, a little bit of browning, gives you depth and complexity of flavor that you otherwise don't have. Wonderful. Let's check these instructions again. Definitely putting protein on first. Watch this beautiful shrimp just cook immediately. And you're going to see these bodies firm up. Oh my God. Right now they're just getting steamed. Right now I'm getting a little bit of steam through there. Throw this in there as well. Break that up. Look at that. Those shrimp are already starting to pick up some texture to them. Get some of that flavor cooked through the rest of it. I think this is going to be an incredible meal. And it's super simple, super easy to make. You've seen me from start to finish. Chop up some vegetables. And this is probably as high-end as it would ever get at our house. Chop up some vegetables, add some shrimp to that. Oh, this is looking so good. Starting to cook. It's going to steam.